Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see this. This is my 2020 Tesla Model 3, and this is the access panel to the hidden hitch. And you can see all it is two slots that you have to open up. And I usually just use the key that comes with the hidden hitch to turn the slot. Hard to do with one hand. And then this just comes down. And there, can you see it there? Let's see. There's the hidden hitch. So there's two parts to it. One is you've got the receiver, and they put a rubber cap over it just to keep the dirt out of there. And then on this side is a lock. I don't know if I'm filming this at all because it's way under the car. So let's go get the receiver and stick it up under there, and then you push this lock in, which actually locks it into place once it's there. This is the release to get it back off again. It's pretty bright out here, but here is the StealthHitches receiver, and you can see they clearly say don't tow and always lock. But and you can see that mine's a year old, and look how good a shape this is in. First of all, I think it's really well made, but also you can imagine when it's not in use, you take it right off the car. So it mostly sits in your garage unless you're using it. So this just installs very easily. You just align that, that's it. And it's in there. Then you push in this lock and it's locked in, and then put the cap on the lock. Okay, so that's how your bike rack is on. So again, this panel doesn't go back on until you remove the hitch. But that's how you get your Stealth hidden hitch. Okay, so let me go get the rack. But let's talk about this first. So this, on this receiver, they say that it's 2,000 pounds towing. It'll tow 2,000, and 200 pounds if you stand on this. That's what they're rating the hitch for. They don't know anything about your car, but they know that this hitch, you can stand on it 200 pounds and you're not going to do any damage. Or you could pull 2,000 pounds and not do any damage. Well, not tow, but I guess have pulling behind you 2,000 pounds. So 200 pounds tongue weight, push down tongue weight. So that's why you have to be concerned when you look at the number of bikes you're going to have in your bike rack. Your bikes and your bike rack at this point right here can not be more than 200 pounds. However, remember, the bike rack actually comes back up about 18 inches. So they half that tongue weight from 200 pounds to 100 pounds. And that's what's important. So let's go measure our rack, or sorry, weigh our rack and weigh the bikes. Okay, so here's the rack we're going to use. This is the Yuat Sherpa 2 rack. And the reason I got this one is because it only weighs 30 pounds. It's aluminum and it only weighs 30 pounds. So, well, supposedly it only weighs 30 pounds. Let's weigh it and actually confirm that. Okay, so I just weighed it and it weighs 35 pounds. Okay, so remember, with that tongue weight, we're 200 pounds, but because we're using a bike rack that extends that receiver another, 14 or 15 inches, you have to half that weight is what the recommendation is. So we're already 35 pounds, so we have 65 pounds left. And it's only two bikes. You cannot expand this to more than two. Like some of their racks you can do from 2 to 4 or 2 to 3. This is only a 2 bike rack. And we're already 35 pounds of that 100 pounds. So let's weigh a bike now. Okay, so here's my extra large size mountain bike. And it is not a big downhill bike. This is kind of an all mountain bike. So I'm curious to see what it actually weighs. Okay, so I just weighed it, and it also, funny enough, weighs 35 pounds. So 35, we're at 70. That's pretty good. That means I have another, after I put this bike and rack on that receiver, I still have an additional 30 pounds, which is basically the weight of another bike. So that's where you get your 2 bikes, and that's why it all works so well for the Tesla Model 3. So let's go put the rack on the car now. Okay, just before I put the Yuat Sherpa 2 onto the receiver, I wanted to show 2 things. One is there's this ball here, and this is what I think makes Yuat racks really good, because it has a screw at the back here, which I'm going to show you, that pushes that ball out and takes up the slack between your rack and your receiver. Okay, so I don't think I can do this with one hand. Stuck. There you go. Okay, so put your key through. Okay, so there's the bolt through, or the whatever they call that latch with the lock on. And now you pull this back like that, and then you use this to tighten up the slack. So watch that receiver if you can. You'll see the slack come up. There you go. Look at that. Amazing. Now the bike rack does not move around on there at all. It's fantastic. Okay, so that's great. But if you look at this, you can see the distance that it comes back from the car, right? That's why you have to half your tongue weight. Okay, so there you go. There's one bike. I've got another 30 pounds of weight. And yeah, that's fantastic. I think after doing all my research, this was the best option for Tesla Model 3 with this rack, because it's aluminum. It only holds 2 bikes. It's got that cool feature where you can take up the slack in your receiver. I'll show you a couple of things. This feature where you can drop the bikes down on the angle like that in order to get into your trunk. So if you forget something in the trunk, so that's great. You don't have to take the bikes off the rack. That's great. And you can just lift the bike up to put them back in. There you go, just like that. All right. So yeah. So I hope that, I know it was really sunny out there and hard to see, but I hope that helps out anybody that was looking for options for a bike rack for their Tesla Model 3. I've had mine a year. I'm really happy with the StealthHitches hidden hitch. So there are other options to get bikes onto your Model 3. One is that Tesla makes a roof rack, and you can buy a bike mount for your roof rack. But a lot of things, remember that that's on your glass roof. It's pretty common for people to, just have a brain cramp and forget that there's bikes on their roof, and then drive into an underground parking or some sort of thing that actually rips that bike off of the rack, or even worse, does damage to the roof or the glass. So I would really be concerned about that one. The other thing is that roof racks, remember you're picking up a 35-pound bike, or even more if you've got a bigger bike than me, 35-pound bike that's been mountain biking or something that's all dirty, there's mud all over it, and you're putting it onto the roof of your Tesla. So that wasn't, I didn't like that option. I did, another great option I think is that guys are saying, hey, well, what about a little garden trailer? Just put 2 or 3 bikes in a garden trailer and you're good to go. That I think is an awesome option if you've got room to have a garden trailer or something at your house. I know that when I took the bumper off, and unfortunately I didn't take any video, but when I was installing the hidden hitch, I noticed that there was a wiring harness for tow package in Tesla. And I believe when you plug it in and it identifies that you're actually towing something, that it gives you an indicator. So I haven't hooked that up. I didn't buy the auxiliary electrical hitch accessory, but that's pretty cool. Can you imagine just hook up a little aluminum trailer, lightweight, less than 2,000 pounds, and pull it behind your Tesla and hook up the lights so that you've got brake lights and signals. Yeah, that seems to be like next level. That would be a good one. But if somebody does that, I'd love to know. That would be pretty cool to see. Anyway, I hope that helps. It's summer and people are looking to pull bikes. And again, Tesla's not the perfect vehicle for bikes, but hey, if you've only got one car, which a lot of people do now, like I do, then you're trying to make the best of it. You're trying to make that car do everything you can do for you. And this is one way. Okay, anyway, until next time, talk to you later.